Okay, so first off, I'm not quitting YouTube. So if the title somehow seems that way, that's not what this is about. It's about something much, much more important. Uh, and I'd like to kind of start with a YouTuber named Matt Carricker. He's quit now, retired. But since the very beginning, when he started, he's one of the ones that made me want to uh, do YouTube. He had a gun channel and did all kind of stuff, and it's cool. And the thing that he did that made me want to start watching him was he says, "You can trust me. I'm a doctor." Ish. And that was just so cool at the time that I had to start watching him. And so I subscribed, and I stayed a subscriber forever. And I think I'm still subscribed. Uh, but the thing that made me want to stop watching him is when his brother died, and he did a video on it. He waited a while before he did it, and he did this YouTube video, and I kept thinking, how can you exploit your family member for views? That doesn't make sense. And so I didn't watch him a whole lot after that. And I was wrong. And I'm sorry, Matt, because I, I now, unfortunately, I understand in a very personal way. You may have noticed a date at the beginning of my videos since the first of this year, 2025. And that date is July 3rd, 1983 dash January 16th, 2025. And that dash is my brother's life. Uh, because we lost my baby brother at the beginning of this year. Uh, in this now I realize what it was with Matt when he did that video. It wasn't about views. It wasn't about exploiting. It wasn't about doing something to further YouTube. It was about telling the world about his brother, telling the world about that they knew him, because he had tried to get his brother's video or YouTube channel built up. And his brother's YouTube was just like mine. I mean, it was about everything. It had, he would, whatever interested him, which was everything, he would do. And that's me. Everything interests me. And so I do videos on all of it. And so I kind of relate to that. But now I understand that it was in, I don't know, I think this light may be a little too bright, but it was it was literally Matt's way of getting his own closure, because, and I don't remember what all he said in the video, but I've experienced loss many times. My grandmother that raised us, when she passed away, I wouldn't go to the hospital because I knew when I did, she'd pass away. She was waiting for her Manny Tin Panny, is what she called me, to visit her. And finally, Mama scared me, and she was like, "Son, you better come up here. She's not going to be with us much longer." And so I was torn between whether I should go, knowing that she would die shortly afterwards. I'm not saying I'm psychic, it's just I knew, and missing her and not being able to tell her. And so I went and I told her, "Mama, I love you, and I want you to get better." And she says, "Son, I'm trying." And she finally went to sleep, and I left. And that night she passed away. And my dad, from a gunshot. Uh, he drank a lot, and he come home with a new gun, and trying to unload it, it went off, and I run out there to be with him. There's a whole testimony on my other channel, Revelation Roads, that and I think it's on this one too. But I remember turning around and I saw mom's head sticking out the back kitchen door, and then my baby brother, his he was maybe 4 or 5 years old, and his face was sticking out the door. And at some point, it kind of hit me that, you know what, you've got a family now. Uh, I was 18, 18, 19. I don't know. It's been 30 plus years ago, but a long time ago. But I realized I had a family that I had to take care of because my dad wasn't going to be able to do it anymore. Uh, and my baby brother basically worshipped me. I was everything to him. Uh, and there finally came to a point that selfishly, I had to start pulling away and starting my own life, my own family. And I couldn't be everything that my baby brother needed. But long story short, uh, he he did fine. He grew up. I remember when he came to me one afternoon and told me, uh, and he always called me Big Bot. We both loved Transformers, and I always had him watching Transformers with me when I was an older teenage boy, and got him very, very interested in Transformers. And so he always called me Big Bot, and I called him Lil Bot. And that was kind of after the, I mean, I don't know if you know about him, Optimus Prime, and I don't know. Don't worry about it. It's weird. It's crazy, but that's what we called each other. And so he came to me and he finally was like, I'm dying. And I'm like, what? And he said, yeah, I got cirrhosis. They gave me 10 years to live, which, cirrhosis kills you slow. My family are predisposed to have fatty liver. We can die from eating candy bars. We don't have to drink. I drank like a fish for 30 years and never got cirrhosis. My baby brother drank for a year and got cirrhosis. Um, and so, there was going through the whole processes, and my sister carried him through this whole time. And he, finally, the cirrhosis actually went into, I guess, remission or healing itself and reversing, and his liver functioning correctly and all that. And my sister, she, excuse me, she, yuck. I don't use that a whole lot. Anyway, sorry. She was like doing due diligence. We need to get your liver checked out just to make sure everything's still okay. And so she did. And they noticed a mass in his chest. And in between the cirrhosis and the mass in his chest, because of the cirrhosis, it caused a rare thing to happen in his hips where the ball joints deteriorated and he had to have both hips replaced. And they had him walking that night after the surgery, both hips replaced, and he was walking that night. That's how powerful my little brother was. He could take pain. I know I could see in his face pain, but they told him he wouldn't hurt yourself. You got to walk, and this is how you're going to recover. He did it. My brother was amazing. Um, but they noticed a mass and sent it off, took a biopsy and sent it off, and found out it was stage 4 cancer. Uh, and I mean, I don't even remember them saying a time frame that he had left to live. But all this is years ago. Listen. Um, and he had stage 4 cancer, and his liver was compromised but surviving and recovering. And the cancer spread to his liver. And of course, fighting chemo, all of that, going through everything to survive. And my sister bringing him there, she's amazing. There's no end to the level of love that she has for her family. I can't even express it. I don't think I can even feel that much love personally. I can't fathom it really. Um, but she went through all of it with all of her kids, taking care of her kids, doing everything for them all the time. That's just the way she is. But bringing him to these medical things for his chemo and all. And he had a port in, and she made sure that it was all taken care of and disinfected, and everything was done right. And the doctor fought like crazy to make the insurance approve a special drug for him to be on, and he got on it, and the cancer went in remission. And so that all went away. His liver was fine, his cancer was gone, and everything was doing great. So I can't help but imagine. And he's was a trooper through all of it, everything. He didn't think about himself. He always thought about everybody else. And then last year in November, now we don't know if possibly this experimental drug had a side effect. We don't know what caused it or what happened. But in November of last year, he started having bad headaches, and they got worse and worse and worse to the point that he was actually passing out. And kind of thinking, wondering if he wasn't just, faking this for attention or something. And I really feel bad about that, but I kind of was wondering that at some point. And he began to have seizures. And I witnessed him having seizures from this in the hospital. And just severe, massive pain that he just could barely stand it. Begging for pain medicine to make the ease the pain in his head. And come to find out, now, and all the hospitals around here thought it was in his head. Literally, it was, but they thought it was in his head, and he was just making it up or whatever. Because all the tests they run, they couldn't find anything. Couldn't find nothing. On and on and on and on. And finally had an eye doctor appointment that my sister brought him to, and he's like, "You got pressure behind your eyes. You got pressure in your head. We need to see about this and get it relieved." And he was starting to go blind because of all of the pressure in his head. And so they couldn't ignore it and say it was all his imagination, because there was physical things happening to him now. And so by December, he was constantly throwing up, couldn't hold anything down, couldn't hardly function really, and having seizures and passing out and in and out of the hospital constantly. They relieved the pressure just before Christmas, I believe it was, and he was feeling great and everything was good. And but as a bad part, he was almost legally, or was legally blind. And then slowly the headache started coming back and getting bad again, and they were scheduling him to do that again to relieve the pressure. And he was moved into a rehab place here in Louisiana, who I won't mention, but was responsible for his death, in my opinion. Regardless, he had a seizure and his heart stopped, and they got it back going again. And the doctors say they should have brought him to the hospital then, but they didn't. And the next day, about 24 hours later, he had another seizure and his heart stopped, and they got it back going again. And they should have brought him to the hospital, but they didn't. And I think he aspirated. And anyway, cause of death was cardiac arrest. And this was July or January 14th, I think, or I think it was 14th or 15th. And they worked on him, get his heart going, and brought him to the hospital. And the hospital was still working on him, getting his heart going. They finally got his heart beating, and they were putting him on tons of medicine to keep his heart going. And then they had to constantly increase that to the max, then add another drug to keep his heart going and his blood pressure where it was supposed to be, and all that kind of stuff. And finally, I told my sister that if the decision has to be made to stop life support, that I would be the one to make it, because she shouldn't have to deal with that too. And so I think it was the 15th that they told me that there was one last test that they could do that they could check and know for sure whether there was any brain activity. It was a dye or something that they had to put in, and they do a brain scan, and then they can tell. And they did the test, and they came back negative, that there was absolutely zero blood flow to his brain, and so he was 100% brain dead. And they and they said at that point that once that was a diagnosis made, that it was out of their hands, that we couldn't make a choice to keep him on life support, that they would have to end life support, in which they did the morning of January 16th of this year. And I just wanted to put this out here, and I wanted to tell this story because my baby brother, he was an amazing man. He never had children, but he had children because he had a huge hand in raising his niece and great nieces. Had a huge hand in doing for his family, and that is, he is now a part of another part of a pain inside of me that I carry and I hold, because I can't let that go. That's mine. That belongs to me, and that's my whole memory. I can't just remember someone for the good things. I have to remember the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I never forget anything. And I don't have to go to a grave or look at a picture or hear a recording or watch a video, because I hear the voice just like there was today. I hear Daddy's voice, Mama's voice, Eric's voice. I hear their voice just like they're standing here now talking to me, and so I carry that inside, and that's how I do that. And so I don't need to go to graves and visit graves, because I carry them in here. Uh, so I know that sounds weird, but it is what it is. But I wanted to tell this story mainly to give someone out there hope, because I was really, I was debating really hard to decide whether to release this for anybody to see it. So I'm going to release it on the channel, but I'm not going to let it be notified to anybody or nothing. It's just going to be there, mainly for the nieces and everything, because I did some filming on making the urn and different things, and I want them to be able to see that. And I'll probably tag to this video with another one making the smaller urns for the nieces. But I wanted to put this out here first for my own closure, because I want to tell the world about my baby brother, and I want them to know about him, and I want them to know that a really great man is no longer in the world. But I also want, there's going to be someone. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're at. I don't know what's going on, but I know you're in pain. I know you're suffering, and I know you have hardship, and there's stuff. There's stuff. And I just want you to know what my baby brother went through, and he pushed through it, and he made through it, and he pulled through all of that. He survived cirrhosis, which kills people. He survived stage 4 cancer, which kills people. It was all done with Jesus. I'm telling you, that's point blank. Believe it or not, like it or not, however, it was done with Jesus, and that's how it was. That's how he survived these multiple things that kill. Just one of them kill many people out there all the time. And so I want you to have hope and don't give up, because he could have given up with the cirrhosis diagnosis and died years ago. But he didn't. He kept going, and he kept fighting, and he kept pushing, and he had many more years with our nieces and our us, the family. And he could have given up when he, was going through all the pain with his hips, uh, and just lived the rest of his life what it would be in a wheelchair. But he fought, and he did the surgery, and he got his hips replaced, and he's kept going like a trooper. And he could have given up when um, he had the stage 4 cancer diagnosis, but he didn't, and he kept going. I mean, how strong do you have to be to go through all these things and keep going like a trooper, and never thinking about yourself, but thinking about other people? So this is mainly uh, for the family to see and know and hear and remember. And I was thinking about turning comments off on this video, but I think I'll turn them on so the family can talk and share their part of Eric in their life on this video. And so you can hopefully gain more strength to continue and not stop, like my baby brother did. Uh, what finally took him, we don't know. What caused the issues in his brain, and I don't know. Maybe the cancer had come back and went to his brain. We don't know, but um, he never give up. Even in that rehab place, he's in a chair sitting there, uh, blind, can't see, he can't hardly get around, in pain, and fussing about his coffee. Where's my coffee? What you got to do to get coffee around here? And so he was amazing. He was an amazing boy, and we're all going to miss him. Um, and so I'll probably just cut through here and have a little short video showing the making of the urn, the final product of the urn, and the little, I don't know, the I said a little bit at the final pictures of the urn. I didn't film anything at the graves because one of his final wishes was to have part of his ashes spread on mom and dad's grave, or well, we didn't spread them, but we buried them. My sister buried him while I was very hot and sweaty. So anyway, uh, so that's what we did, and that's what we did today to celebrate his birthday, because today is uh, July 3rd, 2025, and today is my baby brother's birthday. And so that's what we did that for. And that was his final wishes. But look, I want to leave you with this, and I want you to please understand: never give up, never quit, never surrender, because when you do, that's when you lose. You will never lose the fight until you quit fighting. And as long as you fight, you're going to win. So let's check out the making of the urn and go from there. I thank you guys. I love all of you. And see you again soon. All right. So this is, I don't know, if you're not one of my family members and you're watching this, then I kind of felt like there was something in this that you can maybe learn about what I'm doing. I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking. This is more therapy for me than anything else. Uh, my baby brother passed away, and his last wishes were to be cremated. So I'm making him an urn, and so we're going to go through the process, and I'm also going to do some metal melting and casting to make some smaller aluminum urns out of some aluminum that has some significant uh, things behind it. So, like I said, if you're watching this and you're not family, then I kind of thought there was some stuff you could get out of it. So, here, let me grab a little bit of history on this block of wood. It's block of cedar, I was told, given to me probably 18 or so years ago. And it come from a plant that I worked at for 25 years. And so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to get in here and let me go ahead and grab that center finder. This is really designed for something round, but I'm going to use it here to see how well it works out. It's also got for corners and stuff. And so we're going to, don't know where a marker is, so we'll go redneck it here. Just scratch it there. We're basically just trying to find the rough center. We don't have to find the exact center. So the point is this is a regular plate that I'm going to be screwing in to here. I need to get it as close as I can get, just eyeballing it to center. And then this is going to mount on my wood lathe. And I'll take the tailstock with an attachment on it that will come in basically to the front side to steady it up. And I don't know what it's going to end up being, but this is what's in my mind right now, is leaving the base, because this is well seasoned and dried, but leaving, maybe about that much of the base so that there could be a plaque put at some point. And then, kind of from here down, getting to a round-ish point, and then kind of maybe working an hourglass vase kind of outline in it, hollowing, and then making a top out of some. And now that I think about it, I've got to use that wood, because I thought about using something else. But my brother-in-law, my baby brother's best friend, was building a toy box for my baby brother's niece, my niece as well. But he helped raise her. And so there's some scraps left over from my brother-in-law building that toy box. And so it makes perfect sense that I would use that for the top that would cap this off. So that would the top kind of representing his head or his mind, because I know that baby girl was always on his mind. So so let's get this mounted on here, and see if I can see that X in there. Yeah, kind of on the spots. Yeah, man, that looks pretty much perfect. So let me find some screws. I don't know if I'm going to have some small ones. These 2-inch. So any other time I would have tons of little 1-inch wood screws everywhere needing 2-inch screws. And so now I've got a pile of 2-inch screws and no short ones. Seeing my conglomeration here. Uh,
Well, that's a little too short. Let me look in my man. Bad lungs and bad lungs. Okay. Wrong one. I think we might be in luck here. Sheet metal cruise, but we're gonna give these a shot. See what happens. So 8, 1, 2. So uses a bunch of screws, but basically I'll be taking these back out, so I'll get them back. Man. Not really organized now, am I? I have to go inside. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go inside, and I'm gonna get my drill I keep inside, so I don't get caught inside without a drill having to come outside. Then I'm gonna leave the drill out here and forget to bring it back inside, so I have to come outside when I need the drill inside again, which won't be long. But here we go. I'll be right back. Okay. Well, I'm still coughing. All right, excuse my heavy breathing. I just walked like 20 yards up to the house. So, let's see. Yes. Because this being a cross tie, it's not square. I don't know if y'all are aware, but cross ties aren't square. They look square, but they ain't square. They rectangular. You have like a 7x9, a 6x8, which just looks like a 6x8. Which technically will be anywhere from a 5.5 to a 7.5, would still be a legal 6x8. And you got some 7x8s that some plants want to stretch out just because. But technically, in respect, you can mix 6x8s and 7x8s. So there's really no use in maintaining another inventory item. So we get this secured, and we're gonna jump over there on the lathe and get this installed, get that other head off, and get that other head off and get this in here. So we got it on. So let's get the gouges out. Be right back. Okay, so you may wonder or want to know why I'm even posting this video. Because I have decided to go ahead and make it public. I don't know how to let my family watch a private video anyways. But regardless, my thoughts are to make it public so that if you are going through something like this, maybe this will give you some ideas and some options, and to hopefully, if you have a lathe or any of these tools and ability, how easy it is to actually do something like this. And I think that this is great therapy for someone going through loss to be able to do something like this. It'd be basically the last thing that you can do for someone that you love. And it's also going to be a reason why you're not going to be able to like or dislike this video. You're not going to be able to comment on this video because it's not for any of that. And I mean, if you need to get in touch with me, you can go to the main page, and down below it you'll see an email address or contact through the community page. But regardless, it's not going to be any notifications going out that this posts. So it's going to be like a private video. You're just going to have to find it to be able to see this video. But hopefully, I think this will help a lot of people in dealing with stuff, and to give you some ideas, and to actually just see how easy it was to do this, and to get the whole shape and the lines burned in and sealed with the wood hardener sealer. I don't know how long it took, but I did it in one day. It was just probably a total of maybe a couple hours to get to that point and figuring it out, and that's including trying to square up the edge on the cross tie and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so let's get to the video, and I hope you can, if you stumbled across this, I hope it helps you in some way, and I hope you can learn something or get some ideas that you may want to do something like this. And you can do the same thing and just make a vase out of it if that's what you want to do. So anyway, it is what it is. And start the video. Do this to a gouge. I don't know if you can see that, but you see how that's kind of bent back. Well, that's having your rest too far away, too much stick out, and it catches. You don't want to go straight in because it's going to catch. You want to kind of go up, and you see you got a angle of the dangle there, about like that, and that's kind of how you want to come into the wood, because you want to cause it to peel off into this trough and just kind of come down out of the way. And that's basically how you turn wood. And once you get this round, then I can really go to town. I've got square carbide pieces. You're going to probably see me either get this one or one like it, maybe my small one, and cut some bands that I'm going to smoke. You'll see. You'll understand when I do that. And we've got some round ones here that Eddie Castellan, I think he's in South Louisiana. Love the guy. He's great. I learned a lot of stuff from him. This round carbide piece come from him, and I made these just out of key stock and aluminum stock. These are heavy. So anyway, you want to stop from time to time to kind of see where you're at. And the reason why I want to try to get this basically as close but not perfectly centerline is because you can see you got a wider part here, narrow, wider. So, and this is a little narrower than these here. And that's due to the fact that it's not square. So let's go back to work. Yeah, see where we're rounded here, close here. See, this is going to this is kind of punky, it's going to tear, but I've got some I can either do plastic wood putty or something I really like, which is a hardener that is for punky wood. It's like a clear liquid that you put on it, and it'll soak in there, and it'll make this wood just as hard as a brick bat. And you can get in there and do some stuff with it a little better. See, it's more uniform through here. Before, you can see it was narrower down here, and it kind of spread out more up here because I was off. I wasn't digging in as deep up here. So you may have saw me take some deeper cuts in the top side to kind of bring it back in. But when we got all four sides like this right here, which this is going to be more pronounced, so you're going to see like the whole thing is kind of setting this away, and that, well, I don't know, that might be pretty well even, but you may, this base is going to kind of be oriented a little bit offset, in which I could trim it, but I'm not, because that's just part of it. That's the appeal. So yeah, let's just get back after it. Need to check it often. We're rounded here, we're rounded here, and that looks pretty doggone close. So I'm, I don't think that's gonna be offset too much. Rounded here already, and we're close here. So I'm gonna go ahead and bump the speed up a little bit, because the rounder you get, the higher you can turn your speed up. But this machine has to be turned up while we're running. So let's see. getting close. Yeah, so we're pretty much rounded on most sides. Just this little bit right in here. I've been kind of digging in. I mean, I guess that's not proper use of a gouge, but I don't care. Let me work on that end a little bit with my square. Yeah, see, okay, so that's a little better. I got a more defined sense of the edge, and I'm gonna show you a trick. I'll be right back. So what I'm trying to do is find where my edge of my top is going to be to kind of know what my profile is going to be. And so what I'm going to do is mark it. And I know this is my lowest point on it. So you can see that's my lowest point here, so I know basically right up inside there. So let me use that. Normally you'd use a pencil, but anyway, we use that to kind of gauge cutting my top. Okay, so now you can see this. I don't know, you can't make it out too much, but you can see that that's not even. But this right here is going to all be cut out when it's hollowed out in there. And you can see I'm really close, and in some places right on my mark. So I know this is my top. That's where my top's going to fall. So let's go back to work. And this ain't work. This is, I love hand turning wood. Okay, so we're around, all the way around. This would come out, that little bit right there would actually come out with, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Sandpaper. But, I don't know. I want to get my carbide out. Start working on some shaping. And, at this point, I need to get in here and adjust because what you do to get in closer to the work is you come further down, because this is still the same original size, but I still want to be close to the work because that gives you the most support. Well, I apologize. I don't know how long it quit recording, but it quit recording, which happens with this stupid thing a lot. I don't know if it just overheats and stops or what, but anyway. So it's wherever you stopped at, here where we're at now. I'm sorry if you didn't get to see it. We're sanded down kind of smooth in here, and I like the grain. I like the defects that I see in here, the stress, the worm damage, the decay here, worm damage here, knot through here, some worm damage there, decay. I mean, and I'm gonna secure all this stuff. I mean, I'm gonna put that stuff on there and let it set up and get hard. And so I think we're gonna be good there. Need to do some more sanding in here to kind of smooth that out, because I do want this whole part right here, you know, to be smooth all the way around, except for the defects. I mean, the defects I want them to show and come through. And I put that birchwood, I think it's birchwood Casey hardener on this, and then inside put the epoxy after I get it hollowed out as much as I want. Put the birchwood Casey stuff in there, and then I don't know, we'll go from there and kind of see what's what. So I'm gonna take a break here, and we'll be back in a little while. Okay, so shows we got 5 hours worth of recording left on there. So we'll see how it goes. What I was talking about before, and my favorite number is 7, so I want 7 bands on here. I know I want 2 here. I think I want one in this region, and this region,
2 here, and 3 here, spaced. So let's let's look and see. Yep, that looks good. So now let me find some wire. Wait a minute. Let me pull out apparently the piece of wire I had over here for these purposes. So this is just, I don't know, some kind of just regular wire. You can see where it's burnt there. So some of you already know what I'm going to do, but watch. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So awesome. 7's my favorite number. Followed by 2, 3, and 11. And then 21. You can probably figure out why 7. But so I think that's good. Let me find some of that where she be? Oops, I think I see it. Be right back. Not birchwood, I'm thinking guns. Minwax, wood hardener. High performance, penetrates deep into wood, reinforces soft wood fibers, forms solid base for joining, for filling. So, hopefully this stuff is still gort. Yes, sir. She's an opened up now.
Put a little here. Tell you what, really Ooh. Tell you what, this is not, I'm wasting so much of this good stuff. I think I've ruined my glasses. What is that, junk? Because these glasses aren't glass. These glasses are plastic, and I just splattered that stuff all over the front. The lenses. See, so I want to mark this, and that little depth gauge is useless. I got to do something else at some point, but I need to cut with slower, but I want to cut to the end of my teeth there, so oh well, let's get this tape started, or sort of kind of. Because this has got some oil on it from over the years. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to come over just slightly. Right there, right on it. So now I know to the back side of this tape, I don't want to go any deeper. And when you're not, And so we're gonna have to let it cool till it's not hot no more. And the reason why I want to let it cool down is I mean that's just high speed steel, and I don't want to dull it. Okay, so I'm impatient. So here we go again. Alrighty. I believe what that moisture is this being cool and that being hot. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Get this out of the way. Okay, there's a little bit of moisture building up there. As you can see on my finger, it's wet a little bit. Oh, we got some distance up in there. Okay. We are here at the last ring. So I'm going to really let this cool down this time because I didn't let it cool down as long as I should have. And I may even take some of these wood chips, maybe a combination of some of these wood chips and the wood chips from the toy box, because that's what I'm gonna do. I've decided I'm gonna take and chip up the wood, or enough wood from the toy box material to make a lid, and along with this wood, because this wood is so nice, it'll give a beautiful brown matching top that's a little bit different in color. Okay, I don't know at what point you cut out because it stopped. I'm glad I check it pretty regular. Let's do a little bit more and then I'll talk a little bit and then we'll shut it down for today. Okay, so we're going to cut it there because I'm at a transition between the shaft of the tool and coming into this next section right here. Let me get some of this out so we can see it better. And plus, I think you can see, just look down in this area here. You can see the kind of steps that all is going to be wallowed out. This wall is roughly 5/8 to 3/4 thickness. And so I'm going to go down as far as I can before I start using the round attachment or round cutter. I just don't want to get to my finished size. I've got to sand this outer lip right here a little bit to smooth that out. There's a little bit of tearing. That's why I don't want to go any more on that. Because I mean, I'm probably just gonna Gorilla Glue the top on it, because Gorilla Glue, when that stuff locks in, you just rip wood apart. So anyway, so when you come back on again, we are going to be diving a little deeper. So until then, let's take a break. So what I'm doing is cutting in and I'm breaking that outer edge, kind of a little chamfer to help this find its place. Okay, so I got it to go in. So now I need to cut this back a little more. I'm going to be honest with you, that's a pretty tight fit. Let's do this. Oh, shoot. Okay, guys, I mean, I either got your back right or don't. I'm sorry. Okay, so I tell you, I think that's going to be kind of good right there. Okay, so let's check and see if it's recording. You appear to be recording. So it's kind of an ugly cut, but you know what? This is what I got. Okay, so I still got a little bit of lip in there. I got to finish flushing out, and we can start rounding. Okay, so this is the end result of the urn for my baby brother, my little bot. Until we meet again.